Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the VERAfied Podcast. This is the Christmas edition. You know what this is, right? It's a VERAfied Podcast where truth is the only rule. Who do we have in studio? Actually, I just got to tell you, it's our worldwide studio. Everybody's all over the place. We've got Brandon, the Truth, Vera. We have Franklin, the Chief, Arriola. And up in the Northern Marianas, our producer, Mr. Kyle Huggook. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good to be here, guys. Good to be here once again. The Christmas
Merry
edition,
Christmas to everybody.
Christmas.
Same to you. Merry Christmas to you too,
Merry
your
Christmas,
family,
everybody. Merry Christmas.
the rest of the world out there.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to get right into this, guys. It is a packed show. VERAfied's first topic. We're going to look ahead at 2025. Okay, let's start with the local scene.
Sure.
Guam has had its first Republican majority. Actually, it's coming up. Got its first Republican majority. This is 18 years in the making in the legislature. New crop of freshman senators coming in. They're taking their seats. I believe the inauguration is January 6th. Gentlemen, do we expect fresh legs, fresh energy, and fresh policy ideas? Or freshman fails and faux pas? What say you?
Chief?
Oh, okay. I can appreciate the alliteration there, John.
You like that? You like that? I thought you'd appreciate that.
Yeah, relative to the GOP majority, congratulations to the GOP majority. They had 14 candidates during the election, and the Democrats only had 11, which I don't think has ever happened in the history of Guam. That has never happened. And I could be wrong, but maybe once or twice, maybe. But this was an anomaly in terms of the legislature, right? So when I looked at the numbers, I said, people said, Frank, what do you think? You Republicans? I said, yeah, dude. I mean, 100% they're going to win the majority. A couple of incumbents, 4 incumbents total fell out, which I think was quite a reflection on, and I call it slightly dysfunctional 37th, right? So when you see that, I think people were kind of tired of that, right? It's the perception, right? It's oh God, they weren't really that productive, right? Fighting, bickering. So now the new guys come in, and there's a lot of high expectations, and short of and they're going to stub their toes on occasion when it comes to the rules of the House, how you go about introducing bills, the mechanics of it. They're going to stub their toes, no question. But I think if they come out, really firing, really coming out hard, and really putting forward like groundbreaking type legislation where you're bringing in the community together and speak with one voice, speak as a unifying voice. I think people are looking for that. And I think that's where the freshmen, the new guys, can make a substantial impact. But inside the legislature, you can be voted number 1, the top vote getter. But if you're a newbie, once you get in there, you're just like the number 15 guy. Right, you're going to have to lobby and negotiate and barter for all the airtime you're going to get, and i.e. the votes, right, for your legislation. So that's the area where I think they're going to be what did he just do to me on the floor? Yeah. Right. So you'll see a bunch of that. But I think, I'm hoping for some fresh legs. Our healthcare needs some help. Obviously, our criminal. Our law enforcement area, we've spoken about it quite a bit. Economic development, our tourism industry's in the toilet. We've talked about that quite a bit. Department of Education, they're sucking wind like completely, right?
That's gone.
Yeah, I think they gotta get that stuff working. So those are my thoughts.
Kuyabi, it sounds like Chief is hopeful. How about you? Are you hopeful or
always
a little bit jaded by government?
I'm with Chief. I'm very hopeful this time around on the national stage and on the local stage. The people are not woke; they're awake. People are now paying attention past news and past headlines. That big giant omnibus bill that just tried to get passed through late in the nights got stopped by Doge and was told on by the rest of the world. Once the world started paying attention, the politicians who usually just do what they're told couldn't anymore because people are paying attention. And I think and hope that follows all the way along, all the way to our local side here with the GOP having control. You know, it's not like it used to be. It's not like how it was before Trump the first time, Biden in the second time, and Trump back in. The whole political landscape is changing. I think the world is paying attention. So when we talk about legislation, yes, correct. There's certain things that they have to do. They have to learn. They're going to have to get along to play and make things pass along. But with the people's voice being so loud now, I think the demand is there that the politicians have to take notice. I'm not going to say it's almost like tar and feathering from back in the day, but the way you vote is being told and counted on now. Like, people are paying attention. And like Chief said, and like you said, Kuya John, I'm hopeful that things move differently now. I'm hoping that things move differently now.
And I think we have a good balance, gentlemen, of what we refer to as newbies, first timers in the legislature, and of veteran leadership. Because it's nice to have fresh legs, but you kind of need that guidance in there. There are some new senators that I'm just looking forward to seeing what they're going to be able to do. But as the chief pointed out, we have a stalled tourism industry. We have high violent crime, and we have one hospital. We can't decide where to build it, and the other one is in shambles. So, I'm going to be hopeful. We'll see what happens after the first, 3 to 6 months, and we can, revisit this subject.
If I could add a closing remark on that note, and to kind of jump off where Brandon brought up, this last presidential election really showed a lot of things. And one of the biggest things that it did was shine the light on, let's call it, the favoritism of the legacy bought and paid for corporate media, right? Their ways of doing things was so un-American that Americans gave them the big this, right? The big one, right? And good. I think that was a great move that Americans did that. What it has spurred or spawned are new media, new news sources. It's not the basic everyday stuff you're going to get, and that's where the truth comes in. VERAfied Podcast, and we're not Joe Rogan level, clearly, but we are another voice that I think people need to hear than what they've been fed for decades now. And this is one of the reasons why I enjoy being here. One of the other reasons, main reasons, is it gives me a chance to add to that change, to the pivot of what we were fed for decades, and I mean like decades, from the 50s and the 60s. So things that are just a little bit more, I want right down the middle, right? Because we're smart enough to make the determination on our own, decisions on our own. We just need good information. I think we will help provide some sort of balance, at least on the local level. Because there's a bunch of, now that I'm looking at the local media, these guys, they report stories that they're getting paid to report on, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys.
Excellent point.
We're free 95, baby. We're just gonna tell like the way it is. And we're fortunate enough to get corporates or sponsors. Okay, you can help sponsor a segment if you like, no problem. But don't ask me to push your guy, because it ain't happening. If your guy deserves kudos, sure. If he's screwed up, then he's gonna get that too, right?
Yep.
And that's my internal commitment. So I always talk too much, but go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's good.
That's excellent point, Chief. Okay, gentlemen, next topic. The first group of what will be thousands of United States Marines from Okinawa have arrived on island.
Yeah.
Will the transfer prove to be good for Guam? Maybe we'll start, Chief, with our veteran in the house, Brandon Vera.
More military coming on island is always welcome, in the sense of security, in the sense of financial security, and in the sense of the island growing. I'm a huge fan. I've been a fan since day one, I'm from a military town, Norfolk, Virginia, so I've been pro-military since I can remember. There's a lot of people who talk about anti-colonialism, anti-colonization, and all sorts of crazy stuff. I don't see that, and I can't understand it, especially if you cannot fight on your own. I think it just proves progress happening on the island. It proves that the island is growing faster than most people are ready to admit, and faster than most people, locals, are ready for. I'm 100% for it. I'm excited. I cannot wait. I can't wait to see the bases full. And because our tourism industry is tanking, I'm a fan to see that the local families and that locals get to step up and use all the facilities once we have another influx of another 50,000 more people by the time it's all said and done, with families and everybody else here. So I'm looking forward to it. And I'm a fan. I'm a fan of what's happening.
Thank you, Kuya. Chief, what do you think? They say that the influx of the Marines, their families, support personnel in the tens of thousands, there's going to be the eroding of culture and language, and there's going to be overcrowding. What say you, sir?
For any sort of relocation, and we've been talking about this military buildup as far as I can remember since 2007. Right? And a lot of things that people predicted are here today. If not everything people looked at and said, "Oh, this is what's going to happen," it's happening, right? The DO. So from a foreign policy standpoint, I support the buildup 100%. From an internal island perspective, there's been some challenges for us. Utilities are going to be taxed. I'm not, the people at GPA say, "Oh, once Ukadu comes online, we're covered." Yeah, I'm not quite sure about that.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, the water component. That's going to be a challenge, right? Now, and that's a government side stuff, right? Because DOD has their DODEA schools already. They have their NRMC, their hospital here, to take care of their own, which is fine. My concern is the inflationary effect, just like Hawaii, right? And I knew that was going to be an issue, that locals are really strapped to afford. And I'm talking about my kids right now, right? My kids are right at that age where they have property, or they can buy property, but to actually build something is, I was talking to a good friend of mine, Sonny Adder, right? He's a commercial developer and a landlord type of guy. And he was telling me, Frankie, we're at $500 a square foot construction cost. And what? For a 1,000 square foot home, it's $500,000, which is just outrageously ridiculous, right? So that's a problem on the homeowners. And then the rent, right? There was another article that the military has to build more homes. If you're in the construction business and the housing development business, you're going to do fine. If you're supplying base, you'll go with the flow.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you'll go with the economic flow. But if you're not, you're going to be in the world of hurt. And it's that world of hurt that our leadership has to really look at and get with Uncle Sam and say, hey, we need to help offset that particular component. But the jobs are here. Like my kids, right? They all are related, working either DOD or with the contractor who's working for DOD, and a lot of just about their entire social circle has moved on to that universe, and they're all doing well. Making high five, six-figure salaries at 35 years old, which is great. I'm happy for them. But to your original question, there's pros and there's cons, there's opportunities and there's challenges, and you always say leave no one behind, right? That's a military motto, right? And we have to work on that internally with our local government.
Let me add to that, sir. Just
Yes, go ahead.
Just because I've been looking into this, I've been looking into the developmental side and construction side. To save 30-40%, owner builder, you can save 30-40% off the cost of your house price per square foot as an owner builder. And if you want to put in the sweat, you want to put in the time, you can save money. And that's how it's going to have to be, I think, for more folks going to build later on. Because like you said, 500 square foot is crazy. But there's no local, other than the people that's already working or contracted with somebody or hired with somebody, there's no local talent for you to pick from. You can't hire your uncle down the road or put an ad out in the paper. Those guys are not available. They're all on base making $300 to $1,000 a day. So yeah, you're not gonna find somebody.
Because everybody wants that government job,
That's real. Yes.
Want to be out in the hot sun, but
you know what would be a great idea? I'm glad you brought that up, Brandon, because I'm like I consider myself to be semi-retired, right? GCC, the Guam Community College, they have the Culinary Arts School, and I see some of these boot camps for construction. Give me someone like me. Give me 1 semester, teaching me how to do it all. Lay concrete, do mason work. Measure twice, cut once, carpentry. It's a little bit electrical. Don't touch that; it's hot. I think that would be something that we. Because you're right, Brandon. You cannot touch these guys. These so-called handymen. They're too busy on base, making a ton of money, which I applaud that. But yeah,
we're stuck.
Yeah. Nope. Oh darn! I have to put up my own typhoon shutters. Oh shit. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Frank Arriola, the Chief, and the MMA Superstar Brandon, the Truth. Vera, John Mafnas. Kyle is handling all the technical stuff in Northern Marianas. We're glad you've tuned in. All right, this is the Christmas edition of the VERAfied Podcast. We're going to go to international news right now. Okay, gentlemen, the Assad regime in Syria has collapsed with Bashar Assad exiled to Russia. Now that there's a transitional government led by a guy named Al-Sham. I just know he's considered a terrorist by the United States federal government. Has Syria gotten better or worse? What say you, Chief?
Yeah, you have to come to me on that one. Yeah, so this Bashar guy, the guy who split, apparently he's in the arms of Vladimir Putin over in Russia.
He's in Russia.
I think he, in typical fashion, absconded with about $8.9 billion in his pockets. However he did that, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's just what they can. That's what they can account for.
Yeah,
it's all
good for him. Good for him, I guess. Syria, it's I only give a hoot. We're the Christmas one, right? So I can't say that. I only give a hoot about American foreign policy and how it affects us. And with Donald Trump being elected the president, I just leave it up to them, man. Those guys are smart. They know what's going on. They know when to pull that trigger, when not to. And so, and I think Donald Trump's thing is peace through strength. But in addition, it's also strength through peace. And he said it. He said, God, he's this war. Everyone's dying. Let's not throw bombs at each other. Let's make each other's economies work better together, right? Let's rising tide floats all boats, all of that. And I really believe that's what it's about. And I think, they can be. And he tells them, hey, look, Iran, you guys, listen. We can either live together cohesively. You're going to follow my rules, or we're going to go to war, and you're going to lose. So take your pick. And I think most countries, and you can see it right now, man. Everyone talks about it. So-called the Trump. The Trump effect.
Yes.
The dude's like still a month and a half away from taking office, and everyone just bending the knee, kissing the ring. And you know what? Mark Zuckerberg donated like $1 million to his. Marky, no. That's $10 million for you, buddy, for suppressing the Hunter laptop story and all the other BS that you did, right?
This guy.
Yeah. I'm surprised, Donald Trump's people didn't, Mark, no. You need more.
It's not enough.
Not enough. You need some more here, buddy. And so I'll just one last thing. I know I'm way off topic, but Trump sued ABC and Stephanopoulos for using the word rape when Stephanopoulos was providing when he basically lied. He called him a rapist when he was never convicted of rape, so to speak, right? ABC settled out of court for $15 million. I mean, they just said, "Hey, dude, we want no part of this, bro." Hey, Donald, come on, bro. Here's $50 million, and okay. Anyway, Donald says, "Cool." He's gonna take that money. I think he's gonna tell him, "Okay, instead of giving me $50 million, put it towards my presidential library," which was just outstanding. Because there's more. There's gonna be more awards coming away. What's my point? The Trump effect. Not only domestically has it taken shape, but internationally has taken shape, and people are not stupid. And they too would rather not fight and just, let's sell more oil, let's sell more widgets, let's sell more gadgets, let's employ our people, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm talking too much. So go. Sorry. I
Go Chief, go.
No, I guess my point is I don't really give a hoot about what goes on in Syria. Just behave, don't start any trouble, and let's just all get along so we can all make money and live happily ever after, particularly in this Christmas season. And I hate to try to simplify it. It's all about money, because it isn't. But that shit really helps.
And Kuya the chief makes a good point, right? Out here, I mean, why would we care about Syria? I think the crux of that question is simply, and I think the chief alluded to it earlier, the stronger the global economy is. If Syria is not asking for handouts, kind of like our friends in Ukraine, and they're strong, to me, it just makes America stronger, because we don't have to be bailing everybody out all the time, right? I understand, Syria is not necessarily an ally, but I'm just saying, even Iran, as the chief pointed out, if Iran decides that they want to play nice in the sandbox, we can all get along. We can all have flourishing economies. Okay, if you want it to be, you can comment on this, and we can go into a question about Japan.
No, we can go into a question about Japan. I just want to add in, because we're talking about Syria, Iran, the Middle East, I would just like to put a pin in this one so that we can remember the word greater Israel. So if Israel ever starts to expand out, we'll draw it back to this conversation here on Christmas Day. But other than that, I don't have anything to say about the Middle East, because it's been a mess since it ever began. So
yeah,
why are we fighting that
the next 2 decades? No matter whose hands it's in.
Yeah, I say it's been a mess since Genesis.
Why are we trying to? That's not us. We're not Jesus. We're not Allah. We're not any one of those people. It's going to take somebody like that to fix that. So we should probably just step back and watch from afar. That's my feeling on Middle East.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, we're going to shift over. Still stay in the East. We're going to talk about Japan's hospitality industry. So Japan right now ranks third among 141 countries in tourism this year. They average 3 million visitors a month. Yeah. Some industry experts, they attribute this to everything from changes in visa requirements to better hospitality infrastructure, right? Public transportation is good in Japan. But there's a lot of people that feel that Japan's weak yen is what is attracting foreign visitors. How is Japan's flourishing tourism industry adversely affecting Guam's visitor numbers?
Right. Well, I can't say that it's just Japan's fault that's affecting Guam's visitors number. It can't just be that. It can't just be
we're not helping ourselves here. Huh? Good point.
But the fact that the won is doing, I would say, not so well against the U.S. dollar is giving people a huge reason to go to Japan. The fact that the fact that everything in Japan is the future, and everything that you eat in Japan is amazing. Every single person that you meet has the best customs of welcoming you and showing you respect. It's hard to spend money anywhere else in the world and feel as welcomed as you do in Japan. So Japan is on fire right now. The people are working hard. They're making it so, and it's the culture of Japan that's selling it. It's itself, and it's just now shining through. People can actually afford to go there and enjoy themselves. Before, you had to go there and be on a budget. You had to pay attention to what you spent per day, what you're spending per meal. Now you can actually go to Japan and enjoy yourself. I think it's what people want, as opposed to coming here to Guam. I absolutely love Guam. Been around the entire world. We moved to Guam. But to come here on a family vacation, you have to watch what you spend every day. Every time you go sit down somewhere at a restaurant around the Tumon area, anywhere, it's going to cost you, if it's 4 people, it's going to cost you about $120 to $150 every time you go eat somewhere around that area. If you want to eat cheap, it's going to cost you probably $100 Chinese buffet. So it's the sign of the times right now. You can go to Japan and enjoy yourself where you couldn't before. And now in Guam, it's become tough, be the word I would use. Become tough to enjoy yourself out and about.
Chief Brandon makes a good point, right? 150 yen to the US dollar. I mean, you go back there, even with the small amount of money, you're going to enjoy yourself. But he also made a point, maybe it's not just about money. And we're not doing ourselves any favors here on Guam in terms of our tourism industry. Do you agree?
Yeah. Brandon said something that was really interesting, and I agree with it 100%. The country of Japan, it starts with their culture, and it's the pride in their culture, which makes them very, very welcoming because they're proud of their culture. It also has the economies of scale as opposed to Guam, right? How many people are there in the country of Japan? 80, 90, whatever million it is, right? They can afford to do certain things, manufacturing, technology, all of it, right? So they're able to sustain, their economy that way. But to visit them, their food is outstanding, hospitality is outstanding. There's a lot of things to do. Their shopping is wonderful because the yen rate is great, and that's what Brandon's point was originally. Was I wanted to go in the 90s to Japan, but it was you're on a budget. Who can afford a $10 cup of coffee, right? I was over there this past week, and a bento box of sashimi, right? $10, 1,500 yen, $10. Top quality hamachi, toro, all of it, right? We could do that 20, 30 years ago, but you can't today. Now, how does that affect Guam? And let's go. One other thing about Japan. Walking down in the subway, and my daughter leans over to me and says, "Dad, look at the 3 or 4 elementary school kids, and they look so cute. They have their nice little hats and their coat and tie. They just look cuter, just cute, right? But they were traversing the subway by themselves. They look like a 12-year-old, a 10, a 7, and an 8-year-old. 4 kids by themselves on the subway. More than anything, that tells you everything you need to know about Japan. Now, everything that we just said, juxtapose that to Guam, right? We don't have economies of scale. We've really depended on a lot of things that we've had made money over the years and never really reinvested into the product or plant, as we say, right? I think some private developers have done a good job of trying to keep their properties open and their tourist attractions open and their, taxi service and all those restaurants. We've all tried our best. They have tried their best to try to keep up to par. But with the yen as weak as it is against US dollar, right? It's a tough time for our local industry. And, spend money to make money, I suppose. I'm not opposed to that. I think they're going to help offset the cost of the plane tickets to Guam, which you need to jumpstart that. So instead of spending it on, local marketing, give a rebate to someone who's going to buy a ticket to Guam, something along those lines. So, and I trust the industry experts. I think they obviously know what they're doing. They just know that we've got a difficult hand that we're being dealt, and I I think we'll do okay. But we go back to the original conversation was the rest of the world is at a 90% pre-pandemic level, and we're only at like 35, which that says a lot.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, and one other thing, if I could, sorry. So before, people used to fly into Guam and then transit up to Japan, right, from these long distance locations, right? Now, because of technology and these long distance aircraft, they can fly direct to Tokyo, bypassing Guam. So we're losing that transit fee, that transit aspect of the industry. And so that's one thing that everybody has to do. You always have to try to anticipate where will we impacted positively through technology, and where might be impacted negatively through technology. And the long distance airplanes, they just fly right over.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to and watching, hopefully, the VERAfied Podcast Christmas edition. You got the truth purveyors and geniuses, Frank Arriola, Brandon, Vera. I'm John Mafnas hosting. All right. We just talked international news. Now we're going to come back a little bit into Brandon's realm. We're talking combat sports. I'm even embarrassed to mention this as a combat sport, but it happened. Let's talk about it. The Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson snooze fest.
Yeah.
By 108 million viewers live on Netflix. Some technical
much money.
Let's start with you, B. Should fans of boxing and MMA get used to these scripted, made-for-YouTube matches, much like professional wrestling is?
I think that yes, you should prepare for it, and you should wholeheartedly accept it, because you don't want real. You want the show, you want the lights, you want the glitz, you want the fame, you want Prada, you want Gucci.
Really, Kuya? Because, one of the reasons why the Chief and I watched you is because you were real. Yeah, there was no script there. You threw down.
Correct. You can look at the contract. The contract said Mike Tyson can't knock him out. The contract said if Mike Tyson won, X, Y, Z. The things that they're getting now are not fights anymore. It's not a sport. It's a show. It's literally entertainment. Sports entertainment. And when you have entertainment tagline to anything, it's scripted. And man, it's not a fight. But the reason why I cannot be mad at it is because Mike Tyson got paid $20 million to enjoy himself and sweat a little bit. So I can't be mad at Iron Mike. I can't even be mad at Jake Paul, because like you said, he got 188 million views on Netflix. Man,
that's crazy.
He's doing his job. They're doing their jobs as entertainers. But when people ask me how the fight was, I giggle. It's not a fight. That's a show that you watch and thought something was gonna happen that would happen only in a fight.
B, you make a good point. At the end of the day, even when I try to dislike Jake Paul, how do you dislike a guy whose brand is working?
Correct. Very hard
to set by spending 2 hours waiting for that fight, but it's all good. We have Netflix. It was there. Didn't have to pay extra, I guess.
But you know what, though? That being said, scripted fight. The reason why I tuned in is because it's still Mike Tyson. And you saw him snap a little bit. He threw that one hard jab. Jake's feet came off the air. It was like a jab hook. Jake's feet came off the air. And then if something was said, and then Mike Tyson calmed down. But that's what I was waiting for, just for Tyson just like. So he did. He gave him one good one, and then Jake Paul, hey, man, you slow down. Sorry, Chief.
Chief, you feel the same way, Chief?
Yeah, there's entertainment and there's combat sports, right? And sometimes, like using the Venn diagram, I love Venn diagrams. Do you guys? I love Venn diagrams. They're the best thing, right? They kind of. Okay, that was a. Oh, Johnny, you gone. That was my homage to Madame KH, the Vice President of the United States of America. Because I like Venn diagrams, I really do. So it's an intersection of warrior and combat sports. That's kind of where we're at. And I think, the scripted stuff, I mean, WWE, guys my age, oh yeah, King Kong beat Godzilla. That's wonderful. That's a great fucking fight, right? I'm like, what? They're entertained by that. The dramatics behind it. I get it. But I'm an Iron Mike guy. I mean, man, you remember when he was younger, bro? When that guy threw that left, dude, he put guys 6'4", 245 on their butts. Bam! Straight down, right?
Lights off.
Yeah. But then again, Mike Tyson is like my age, bro. It's like, dang. That was just nuts. But, BV, it's going to happen like even in the, not like NBA, right? There's entertainment.
Yes, sir.
And when you get to a certain point, there's going to be straight up competition, right? Now, the warrior sports are much better because you just say, hey, here's your contract. Go beat each other up. May the best man win. As opposed to you can't knock this guy out or you can't do this. Once you put stipulations, then it's entertainment, right?
Yeah.
But what's going to happen? I mean, the other guys. I mean, I watch the MMA boys, and I marvel at how well in shape they are, and the kind of brutal hits where there's a punch, elbow, or a freaking kick to the face or to the liver. I can feel it. Ooh, when the guy just drops straight to his knees, he's out. He can't even move. He's done, right? So I think there's an avenue for both the entertainment side and the real combat, competitive, no holds barred. I mean, one of our guys, Alex Castro, God bless him. He's doing that bare knuckle stuff. I'm just like, holy man, now that's a little crazy, bro. Bare knuckles. Yeah. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
It's one thing to have a 4-ounce glove. It's nothing just to have tape.
Yeah.
Hey, I give it up to the OG Alex. He went in there and he battled, man. He battled.
Absolutely. And he's like, that guy's not. He's got to be knocking on 50.
He's not young. He's not young anymore. Yeah.
He's not. He's he's like in his mid 40s probably, right? But good for him. Yeah. Oh yeah. He's a pugilist for sure. He's a fighter for sure.
Since day one.
Yeah. It's funny. I was reading. I didn't have a chance to see it, but I was reading about the fight, and it said he was knocked down 5 times. That means he got up 4 times. I mean, somebody punching you without gloves. That's should be commended for that. He represented Guam well. So
yeah, good for him. Congratulations to the OG.
Okay. Speaking of pugilists, we're going to go into politics.
All right.
This is one of Frank's favorite people. I don't think he's a big fan of her politics, but sure doesn't mind staring at her a couple times here and there. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez lost the bid to become the top-ranking member of the House Oversight Committee. She lost to Jerry Conley, Virginia Democrat. So after this defeat, gentlemen, and the defeat of what's her name, Kamala Harris, to 78-year-old Donald Trump, what happened to the Democrats? Supposed to have this, generation of progressives that are going to be leading the nation. What happened to that plan, Frank?
I think to answer that question, you need to look at two different things. I'll pick the first part of the party. AOC represents the progressive flank of the party, and I think that's the DNC's biggest problem. It's these loudmouth screamers who are taking a position that's way out here, right? And most Americans aren't way out there, man. They're like you got your progressive left and you got your hard right. I get it. They're out there and they're gonna drive their vehicles to work however they see fit. But it's the center part, again, the Venn diagram. I love Venn diagrams, I really do. It's that center where you got to kind of bring them in a little bit closer on both sides. So AOC, and she did that. After Donald Trump won, she took off her pronouns from her, I think, her Instagram account, right? The she, he, whatever it was, right? She pulled it out. Hey, BB, there it is right there, baby. Kyle, zoom in on
I got you, Chief.
Right there, Chief. Right there.
You, Chief.
That's DV. Look at this.
This is the
Mount
center.
Carmel School in Guam.
Right
Are you
there.
kidding me? Yeah,
BB, those MCS students are so lucky. They get BJJ and they get arts. They get fine arts. I love it.
So that's the progressive side, number one. Then number two, and this, honestly, I'm a conservative guy, but I want Americans to be successful. I want female Americans to be successful. I really do. And this is the other half of the question. The Democrats really blew it with Kamala Harris in terms of getting her really ready for the prime time. She was not ready for prime time at all. And I hope there are people out there who are more to the center, because apparently Kamala Harris is more left than even Bernie Sanders. She's like way out there, right? And I think people got to that, besides the fact that she's just a horrible communicator. And I'm being nice when I say that, right? But I'm sure there are people out there, women within the Democratic Party, who are sharp, aggressive, and they're authentic. Remember they asked, AOC nor Kamala Harris are authentic. AOC probably more so, but you need someone who's authentic, who really gives a crap, gives a hoot about the American people. It's kind of like Donald Trump. They thought this guy's crazy, he's a wacko, but as he was doing his messaging, he came more to the center, and he was very authentic. Like him or hate him, homeboy, man, he the troll of Kamala Harris when he went to McDonald's drive-thru. That dude is a marketing genius, no question.
Yeah.
He commanded out of like say maybe, let's call it the last 120 days of the election. I think he owned every single day of the news cycle with the exception of maybe 2 days.
Yeah.
But he owned everything. And that speaks to his genius and his authenticity, which Democrats, he's not genius. Oh, he's a threat to democracy. No. Democrat, you guys just lied the whole time. And you thought people were going to buy it because you had the legacy media in your pocket. Well, it didn't work. People after a while just said, no, that can't be true. Anyway, so the Democrats have to bring in their progressive flank in tighter, right? Say, hey, guys, knock it off. We have to win. And then number two, they have to find better candidates who are more authentic, who when they go in front of a camera, people say, oh, yeah, man, that candidate, that woman, that chick, she's solid. She's smart. She gets it. And I think it's going to come. It has to be someone from the private sector, someone who's actually built something on their own. They didn't inherit it.
And the Democrat, that's hard.
Yeah. I know it is. But they're there. They're there. I know they're there. Because this Lindy Lee gal, she was like the DNC fundraiser. She's kind of like, hey, wait. I asked my friends for tens of millions of dollars, and we were lied to. It's people like that, right? They who's the other girl? RFK's Nicole Shanahan.
Yes, the lady. Yeah. Yes.
I think she's of Vietnamese descent. She's made a couple $1 billion on her own. Shoot, someone like that, right? Who been through the ranks. That's why Trump really resonates, because he's a billionaire. He was not always a billionaire, right? He started somewhere. Right. And so granted, his father was a real estate developer back in the day. He just took his father's, $1 million level and took it to the 1 billion. So I think there's hope for the Democrats. They just got to find the right people. And the other thing, I know I'm talking a lot, but what they're doing is they're focusing on, they have experience in government. That's exactly what we don't need. Because look what they've done to our country. Right. There's a little a tax issue within my sibling family. We have to pay 37% estate tax. Just think about that number. Estate tax. Okay, I get it.
That's retarded.
37%.
That's retarded. That's
idiotic. That stems from people who all they care about is making sure they build their own government bureaucratic portfolio. 37%? Are you kidding me? I'll pay 5 or 6%.
Yep.
That's nice. Maybe even 10 max. But the rest of it, no. That's
we
just
can fight about that.
That's government largesse. Actually, that's just ridiculous. Anyway, so that's me. Next.
BB.
BB.
I'm with you, Chief. This whole thing, man, I just think the Democratic Party is dead in the water. They have to rebuild themselves. And how do you rebuild yourselves after tearing your house down with lies? And going back to the American people and the locals, our locals here on island, everybody's paying attention now. Everybody's looking for the truth. Everybody's looking for you to lie so they can stop believing you. So, to bring it back to old mythology story, I think it was Cupid. He said, love cannot live where there is no trust. And I believe 100% that the Democratic Party has lost the trust of the people. I don't know how you fix that. I don't know how you fix it as a party, and I don't know how you fix that touting AOC around as whatever the hell you're going to tout her. The next person running for president, the leader of the party, the new inundated queen who's got all the answers. No, man, I don't know what you sell or what you spin. There's no more spinning lies. Like everybody's looking for the lie now. So I honestly don't know what they're going to do. I don't see them being able to pull themselves together. And when I say this, the Democratic Party here on Guam is way different than the Democratic Party in the rest of the world. The Democratic Party here on Guam is way more conservative than over there. This is like old school Democratic Party.
It sure is.
Yeah, and even this Democratic Party here is still going to have a hard time dealing with what happened on a national level. Nobody believes anymore, and that's the problem. So I don't know. I don't have an answer, and I don't know what they're going to do, but I know if they keep pulling up AOC and any of those other young Riris, it's just going to keep happening. They'll keep losing seats, keep losing money, and keep losing space, and keep losing power. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Well, Kuya, you said that people are looking for the truth. They found it right here, VERAfied Podcast, Christmas edition. Merry Christmas to everybody out there.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Chief, Kuya, you know what happens when we just have all this great time, right? It's super fun. Then we get to the last topic. I'm like, what? We're done? This is crazy.
Man,
crazy
fast.
stuff. All right. So this is the fun type, right? We were talking politics. We're talking Syria. Talking combat sports that aren't really combat sports. So we're going to have a good time. So this is VERAfied Top 5. I know both of you guys are super busy, entrepreneurs. We've got, teachers probably going to be principal and who knows, owner of school. Brandon's doing everything. She's doing everything. But when you guys took some time out, hopefully you were able to watch some movies, maybe streaming, maybe out in the theater. Maybe my nephew Atreyu was able to see a couple family movies with Mr. Ninja and Dad. But at the end of the day, I just want to know, what are the top 5 movies that Brandon and Frank appreciated in 2024? I'll let you guys arm wrestle for who goes first.
You want me to go, Chief?
Chief,
Yeah,
anything?
You
Watch a movie that maybe just surprised the heck out of you?
Oh, okay. So if I could, I don't think there's any movie that was produced in 2024 that I believe was memorable, because I'm like, but then again, my memory's not that great either, right? Admittedly, but I watched a lot of I went back to my old favorites, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, when you watch Denzel or some of Tom Cruise, you watch the guys who I kind of grew up with when I watched their movies. I feel very good that their scripts are gonna be pretty solid.
Yeah.
And I watched Equalizer 3, right? The Equalizer series. Denzel's he's kind of a bad boy.
By the way, Chief, I don't know if you saw that, but he just announced there's going to be an Equalizer 4 and 5.
Yeah. The other one, I think Sicario 3 is looking like they're going to do a follow-up to that. Jason Bourne, the Bourne series, I think he's going to do like a 6 or whatever he's going to do. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to that because, the good thing about those kinds of movies, they keep me really intrigued. I watched a movie last night called Carry On. Jason Bateman and these two younger actors and actors who I don't really. Oh, by the way, here's the other thing, man. Check this out. Actors, actresses. When I was raised, the male was an actor and the female was an actress. So you can distinguish. You're a little bit clearer. Bro, now you got to call up all of them actors, right? So if the girl's name is, Kate Mara, and you call her an actor, I'll be like, oh, okay, we're calling her. Okay, now she. Well, so confused, guys. I'm not even joking. But yeah, I saw that. I'm gonna turn it over to Brandon so he can maybe spur. I went through my phone. What did I watch on Netflix or Prime Video? So you're up.
With Chief, I kind of the same thing. I didn't really care for any of the movies that came out. They were all woke and different colored main characters and all inclusive type movies. So F the movie industry this year for making it that way. We ended up, like you said, Chief, we took Atreyu to go watch movies this year, but they ended up being cartoons. One of them was Nightmare Before Christmas. Nightmare Before Christmas 3D version. So he got to watch that. We watched another movie that was a throwback in the movie theaters. I can't remember what it was. So it was 2 so far. And then our third one, this was the one that changed our life again. This was a Disney movie, but they did it so very well. I think I cried like 5 times. Moana 2.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
My daughter's been just bugging me.
So good.
Daddy, we got to see that.
Yeah.
You guys haven't seen it yet?
No.
It goes more in depth about maybe it stuck out more because it went more into ancestors and making your ancestors proud. So it touched more on the island side of what you should be doing. And man, it was very, very cool, man. It was very cool.
Well, for Islanders, right? We have an appreciation for that. So
okay. I want to throw one out there just because it's So when Donald Trump was picking his running mate, I was hoping I was hoping to get Marco Rubio, the Spanish vote. He ultimately picked up JD Vance. I'm like, I've heard of JD Vance. I have no idea who this monkey is, right? So what I do, I go watch the Hillbilly Elegy, right? That's a biopic on JD Vance when he was growing up as a kid. Trailer trash, all of it, bro.
Glenn Close.
Mom was a junkie, raised by a cigarette-smoking, foul-mouthed granny, Gamma, he calls her.
Gamma.
It told me a lot about him.
Wow,
right?
okay.
So that was a good movie, I thought. Just because it educated me as to who this guy was, JD Vance, who at the time was our soon-to-be vice president or vice president wannabe, who is now our vice president-elect. So I thought that was a good movie.
Very cool.
Well, can I put on your radars? Both of you guys are absolutely correct. There's not a movie that stood out this year for me, and I'm I consider myself a guy that just loves cinema. But I will tell you, in terms of television series, worth investing your time.
Okay.
2 of them, because there's a gazillion out there, and a lot of them are just trash. You gotta watch The Lioness.
I heard about that one.
Okay.
I heard about that one.
The cast is amazing, right? Zoe Saldana, Morgan Freeman, Nicole Kidman, Michael Kelly. I mean, just an amazing cast.
All-star cast.
There's nothing like that on television. Paramount Plus, I think, is streaming.
Okay.
And then Eddie Redmayne plays the Jackal in a new kind of updated version called The Day of the Jackal, which is you can find that on Peacock. If you guys sit down, I don't know if Atreyu or even my niece Alyssa or my nephew Garrison's going to want to sit down and watch this with mom and dad, but I will tell you that it is worth your time. And Chief, I think this is right up your alley of, I know you like law-abiding citizen, all those, kind of crime procedurals. Lioness is a different level, completely different level. Amazing writing and acting is phenomenal. So put that on your radar. Not exactly Christmas movies, for our Christmas edition, but worth the time. Gentlemen, as always, I appreciate your love and ideas and sharing the truth. Unfortunately, this Christmas edition episode of the VERAfied Podcast has come to an end.
Oh man,
crazy
fast, man.
But just like 2024 is coming quick to an end, I want to say Merry Christmas to both of you, my brothers. Our brother Kyle in the CNMI
up north.
To your families and to our audience. This is something that we absolutely enjoy, and I think Frank mentioned it. We don't get paid for this, and at the end of the day, we're going to invest our time and our knowledge and our love and the truth. And sometimes we're going to piss people off, and it's okay.
That's always okay.
Absolutely. Kuya, did you want to say anything to the audience out there, kind of on a Christmas note?
Thank you, Kuya John. Thank you, Chief, for making this happen. Thank you, Kuya Kyle. To our fans, to our family out there, maligayang Pasko and manibagong taon. I hope you have a blessed Christmas and a happy New Year, and may you guys get everything that you and your family deserves. And I hope the path for greatness is much easier this time around.
It's beautiful. Sorry, Chief, you got to follow that.
Oh yeah, that in the vernacular. Now I'll just say, a Merry Christmas to our listeners, and as John mentioned, we thank you for listening to us. This is a labor of love for all of us. We want to get an opinion out, and we think we've done a good job for 2023 and 2024. Moving forward to 2025, I'll just give a sneak preview. John and I and Brandon have worked on getting special guests at all of our next couple of episodes. Because we think it's important to get other subject matter experts on our show and question them about what they're doing in their respective industries and their respective spaces, to give it a little bit of oomph to our show. So I'm looking forward to that in 2025. And so with that, I wish everybody a happy New Year, and I hope and pray that everything that you wish for and ask for, you get in spades.
That's beautiful. Well said, gentlemen. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to everybody. For Kyle, for Frank, for Brandon, I'm John Mafnas. Peace.
Miss you guys. Bye.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Chief.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Guys.